And the examples are, of course, we have seen. I think for analyzing our economy, and I'll not take much of your time, I think these, but few fundamentals we need to know. We know that one of the biggest issues for the Pakistan economy is very low tax to GDP ratio. We know that we have tremendous resources in this country. And again, one of the pervasive adverse factor on our economy is the energy crisis. And that is despite of the fact that we have large indigenous resources. So if we do few things right, if we can, reduce our dependence on large oil imports and make a commitment that we will use our indigenous resources, and if we can, as a society, realize the problem that we all need to contribute more to taxes, I think that can really change the scenario. But I am not seeing these things happening, unfortunately. So my take is, and I'll not go into too much details of this, we are all aware of these factors. So what I'm saying is, the law and order situation, the divisiveness of our economy, the problems with our governance, the problems with the corruption and not having high quality or right decisions, this is likely to sustain. So because of these factors, the only thing that can be positive is if we have some years we have good weather, and if the agriculture crops turn out to be very well. So so if without a celestial help coming from the nature, we should be planning for a continued practically speaking not too high growth. And I think that is the pragmatic basis on which the corporates and the businesses have to do their planning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Zafar Saab, your opening comments, please. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, Ji. I think all my other panelists have already spoken about Pakistan economy, and I think I should start that generally our nation is all pessimistic. We always love to discuss negative aspect and highlight this thing, especially also media. Fortunately, last few months, I think there are some good news as the FX reserves have increased to the highest of around 17.6 billion. It has never been in the country's history. The good part is that apart from taking the IMF loan, which is helping increasing this reserves, there is also a remittance of expatriates who have gone abroad, and especially the white-collar people, jobs who are there, especially in UAE. And this obviously increase is sustainable. It's not that this increase will go away, although in the press and media it was said that these remittances are high because those people are returning back to Pakistan, they are sending all their savings. But actually, in fact, this is not there. And these remittances day by day and month by month is increasing. So this is the positive aspect. And in the long term, when Pakistan will require more effects for other expansion and especially those oil also, it will help support them. Secondly is that this balance of this agriculture economy, rural economy has obviously improved considerably because of this support of wheat crop and increased price of cotton. There's a huge amount available in the rural economy. And those, whatever GDP numbers which we have currently, it is because of the support of the agriculture economy. And there's still a lot of room in that area. If we see that the wheat crop and cotton crop and their per hectare cultivation, we're far away from what is desired as compared to our peers. Take for sake of cotton. I mean, if we're doing experiment on BT and on cotton, and currently we are around this because of flood, it was very low production of 12.5 million bales. and as we move along BT and this production gets high, and we convert it, the huge potential for increasing the exports. And then the wheat crop. Wheat crop, though support price has definitely affected the poor people, because the wheat is basically the important thing which is required for food. They have to spend a lot of money on that, but it has a positive impact. And I think in this aspect, government should basically do a target subsidy also on these areas where the poor are affected. Like in Ramadan, they do a subsidy for wheat. My personal view is that this subsidy should continue throughout the whole year, and it should be targeted to those people who basically deserve it. Because if the food is cheap to them, then obviously the poor people don't need other paraphilias. At least the food should be cheaper. So there are positive aspects in the country. Unfortunately, the GDP growth high, which was there 4 to 5 years back, which caused of around 6 to 7%, could not be sustained because the premises on which it was done was not very solid. Now, if you decrease your interest costs around 7-8% and then create an artificial demand and people going from even a bicycle, they again straight away gone to cars, and it's not sustainable. And then you are giving the gas resources, the very, very important gas resources, which should have been diverted to the right channel. You are giving in CNGs. I mean, how can you afford to do and luxury of not giving the gas to power sector, which is basically providing the low cost of electricity and giving to for vehicles. So I think that these things happened last 4 years, and unfortunately this could not be sustained. But again, now we are doing on the consolidation stage. This things are improving, and we should also play on our own pitch. I think very simple formula is that Pakistan should obviously see the agriculture sector where there's a lot of potential to there. You are having a 25 million tons wheat crop. Why not you go to 35 million? I mean, and export around surplus around 5-7 million. It will obviously increase your FX reserve and exports, and also increase your cotton, and then do value addition. I mean, it's a good sign is that currently the imports of cotton textile machineries have increased as increasing, because obviously the spinners have made a lot of money. I think more and more emphasis should be made on this value addition, and this will provide a good thing for cotton import thing. I think those fundamental errors, fundamental system in the weakness in the country, it is there for last 60 years. Unfortunately, it will take a lot of time to improve it, but we all should obviously have a habit to run in the current system and try ways and means to improve it. And one thing more is corruption. I mean, corruption is going on for last 60 years, and it's not an easy thing, but it doesn't mean that you should leave this thing. You should have a proper structured approach, and should be all the people should be at the board and on removing the corruption. And I think that we should think positive, and we are going towards things, and let's hope that our economy improves, because this will provide more opportunities to the poor people.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, fellow speakers, for your opening comments. I'll just pick up a couple of points from what we've recently discussed to start a debate, and then later on we will open the floor for Q&A. One thing which Asad pointed out is that we should be ready for another meager growth year. And in my opening remarks, I said that we already have had 3 years of very, very slow growth, about 3% per annum. So what variables, Asad, if I direct this question to you, which variables should we be looking at to predict the revival of the growth cycle? One thing which you mentioned was maybe there could be some divine help, better monsoons. That could be one. We recently saw large-scale manufacturing rebounding from negative numbers into positive. So, I mean, if you can just guide the audience, which numbers we should be looking at, which key indicators, so that we can see the revival before it comes through.
Thank you for that question. I think, as pointed out by yourself and also earlier speakers, clearly I think one thing that has helped in the last 3 years, our growth would have been worse than what it is. Had some buoyancy from agriculture was not there. The basic reason that we see that despite so many negatives,